So what we're going to talk about here is the entire class. I think it's real important that you know exactly what you're paying for and what you're getting and what you need to know when you leave this class today. So I'm just going to go right down the sections and kind of tell you what I expect you to know once you leave here. First section we're going to talk about is the Insanity group exercise format. And here we're going to talk a little bit about the history, how Insanity came about. We're also going to talk about what Insanity is, how it's a pre-designed workout, not necessarily pre-choreographed, but pre-designed. And then we're going to talk about what max interval training is. And we're also going to talk about when the rounds actually come out. So that's the first section. Second section, we're going to talk about the master class. And we're going to do a little bit more than talk about it. We're actually going to do it. So when we get done here, we're going to go ahead and set up. Everybody's going to get ready. And we're going to do a 50-minute class. I'm going to take you from beginning to end in the master class. And the idea behind that is to know exactly what you got to do during the class when you're teaching your participants. Once we do that, we're going to sit down and talk about the actual class format itself. We're going to talk about the 7 sections that you have in Insanity. We're going to talk about how each block is structured and what the main purpose is behind each block. So that way you know exactly what it is that you're going to be teaching. Any questions so far? Nope. Okay. All right. Then we're going to talk about the science of Insanity. We're going to talk about, again, max interval training, how it's a benefit to the anaerobic system of your body and anaerobic training. And then we're going to talk about something called EPOC, which is excess post-exercise consumption. We're going to talk about that because your students need to know about that after they leave the class. Their body's going to still be going through a process, and you want to make sure that they know what that is. We're also going to talk about how to monitor the exercise intensity throughout the class. Sometimes you may have somebody come in there with a heart rate monitor. Chances they may not have it, and you want to be able to kind of judge how they're doing in their intensity level. The next thing we're going to talk about is the Insanity technique. We're going to talk about some kinetic points, things that you need to look at as far as body positioning, making sure that you're paying attention to your students, and also being able to progress the exercise and at the same time regress the exercise for those that need it. Sometimes you have people that come in there that are in pretty good shape and they want to get a really good workout, so you might have to intensify that exercise. Or you may have somebody just starting out and you may need to regress it. We're going to talk about something that's really important, and that's injury prevention as well too. You need to know things to make sure that your class is safe the entire time that they're doing the workout. Then we're going to talk about some foundational moves, and again, we're not just going to talk about it, we're actually going to be doing it. So I'm going to give you some foundational moves, give you some points about the kinetic chain in those foundation moves, and then we're going to break into small groups, and then you're going to go ahead and test each other on those kinetic points and those modifications and things of that nature. Next section we get into is cueing. We're going to talk about verbal cues and visual cues. When we talk about that, it's real important to know that some people will listen a little bit better, and some people are visual where they see you do something and they'll mimic it. So we'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about the music cues. In Insanity, you have certain sounds in the music that let you know to move on to the next exercise or when the exercise is done. So we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about the trainer videos. Each program or each round comes with a trainer video. The trainer shows you exactly how the moves are, and in fact, they do an entire class on the video so that way you know exactly what's going on with it. Then we're going to get into little groups again, and we're going to do some practical application to where you get to help each other cue and talk about what it is that you need to do. Then we're also going to talk about instructor benefits and tools. You're going to get a diploma at the end of this. As long as you pass, you'll get a diploma. Then we're going to talk about the difference between being an instructor and being on a pro team. Real important that you stay on a pro team because it's going to help you with your business and keep you fresh at the same time. Then after that, we're going to wrap it all up. So do y'all have any questions?